Hey everyone, are you ready to be fired up? Because I sure am. I've got Chris Bello here, and I know he's got some awesome productivity hacks. So if you're looking for that, then stick around. And let's get ready to be fired up. Okay, Chris, how you doing?
Great. How are you, Krista?
Good. Thank you so much for being here. I'm super excited to have you, and I'm excited to hear, all about your successes and how you're going to serve our audience today.
I'm excited to be here.
I love your energy. I don't know if anyone tells you, you've got really good energy.
Thank you. It helps to be at a standing desk. Yeah, the standing desk also helps you move around, and I'm like, fired up because I'm just my posture. I can feel the difference between sitting and standing sometimes. So I'm happy to be here, and I'm excited. You can just tell, right?
Yes. I whenever anybody tells me that they like my energy, I'm always like, I love that compliment. It's the best compliment when they tell me I've got good energy, because like
someone just emailed me that the other day. Like, you have a contagious energy about you, my friend. Like, it's great to meet you. Like, I literally met this person, only talked to him once, and he's actually going to be a personal trainer of mine tomorrow as our first session. And that was such a great compliment. Same thing like you just said, maybe high I on the disc profile. I love hearing that, words of affirmation type thing.
Yes. Okay, so tell us, I know it's hard sometimes to brag about yourself, but I would like to hear more about you. Tell us what you do, tell us your accomplishments, and why our listeners need to listen up.
Absolutely. So thank you very much for letting me humble brag on myself, hopefully, and also share a lot with your audience. So the quick story is, I went the college route. I thought that was what I had to do. I studied supply chain management in the business school at Texas A&M, got an oil and gas job. I was super excited about it. And I thought I was doing all the things that I was supposed to do, because that's what I saw, right? I saw my friends, my family, everyone was telling me, get your college degree, get a full-time job, have the benefits, the package, 2 weeks of vacation a year. That's probably a con, but I did that. And 3.5 years in, I'm like, man, it's not checking the boxes for me. I'm not feeling engaged. I'm not interested in these meetings. I was looking around like, what's wrong with me? Everyone else seems like they're excited to be here for another 20 years. I couldn't see myself doing it. And so 3.5 years in, I quit my job. I fell on my face trying a few different things. Before I landed in real estate, I actually joined a house buying wholesaling company for a bit before getting my real estate license. And now I'm actually doing real estate completely virtually. I mentioned before we hit record, I moved from Houston to Denver in March of this year, and my business hasn't skipped a beat. So I'm a podcast host, a real estate expert. I love productivity. I love just meeting people and hanging out, so I'm like, why don't I just do that and see if I can help some clients out along the way, So hopefully that kind of answers the questions. I'm still figuring out what is my title. I'm like, hey, I'm here to make friends. And if we can work together somehow, let's do it. And if not, no worries,
So tell me, real estate virtually, and your business hasn't changed. Tell me about that. That's super interesting.
I've been really harping on that lately, because a lot of times people are like, oh, okay, you're in real estate, whatever. We all know a bunch of people in real estate. But when I'm like, I am in real estate and I can close all my deals from this seat or my standing desk. And the way that it happened was, my fiance and I visited Denver last August, and I was finding I had 2 closings the week that I was gone. And I'm like, that's funny. It kind of sparked that interest of, I wonder if I can make this happen full time.
Yes.
Right. So the gears were turning in my head, and clients didn't seem to care. I still got great reviews. They had a picture at the title company. I wasn't there, but I still got to post the picture and say, hey, I was the real estate agent behind this transaction. Here's their 5-star review. And so that trip in August of 2020 really made us think, my fiance and I, it would be great to just move and try something new. And so I put my house up for sale. I listed it myself. And a couple months later, we were actually out here. I guess 5-6 months later, took the process to list the house, sell it, move out here. And everything's virtual because I have people who are my boots on the ground.
So tell us the process, because and people don't get weird by it. Well, anyways, people don't get weird by it. So tell me.
It's funny because I think 2020 really helped. Everything that's been going on in the world, everyone's moved to Zoom or online calls, right? So it's not a crazy thing to say, hey, instead of me stopping by your house to do a listing presentation at your kitchen table, why don't we just do a Zoom call? I can share my screen, I can record it, I can send you the links and all of that stuff. And honestly, I've been doing my listing and buyer presentations. No questions happen. Like it never comes up. Are you in the state? Are you in the town? Or are you in Houston at all? I do tell people I don't want to like slide it, under the rug and just be like, hey, by the way, I'm actually not living there. So I do kind of add that at the very end. But after I kind of blow their socks off with the presentation, show all the reviews, the happy clients, the pictures of me at closing when I was in town, I kind of mentioned, hey, minor detail, I want to be respectful of you and your time. And if this is a deal breaker, let me know and I can connect you with someone in town. And usually they're already like committed and bought in by the time I even bring this up, right? So when I mentioned, hey, I actually moved to Denver back in March, I still have closings. Look, here's some recent closings on the map. My clients are all very happy. The process hasn't skipped a beat. If this is a concern and you want someone who's more local, who can handhold, I can definitely make that introduction. But if that's no big deal, I'm still happy to review the inspection report with you, let you know of anything we should address, and still negotiate on your behalf. So that's kind of how I've overcome that hurdle. And it may also help that the demographic, many of my clients are millennials like me. I've done transactions where it's only been one phone call. It's been all text messages or Instagram DMs. And people just can't even believe it. My real estate friends who've been in the industry for decades, they're like, man, I don't know how you do it, Chris. Like, you young guys are just always on the phone and you don't even talk to your clients. You don't cold call or anything. Like, how do you do it? And it's been all attraction marketing. So it really isn't as big of an objection as you would think once you present and show the value.
So, so is it mostly listings or buyers or both?
It's been more listing heavy this year, actually, which gives me even more leverage, right? Because I don't have to go show houses, but I can also talk about the process of how do I help buyers if I'm not there? I'm sure that's a question.
Yes. So first of all, so you just let them know, and then you have your team go out and do the pictures and the photos and the videos and all that kind of stuff. And do you insert yourself in the video by being in front of a green screen and getting on the video too for the houses?
I do not actually do the green screen and the videos and everything, but I'll have a photographer. Kind of my system and the process is, okay, I have a listing presentation. We talk about the house. If possible, if I can get any pictures that they may have of the house right now. I kind of got these ideas from being in the wholesale business where they buy ugly houses type thing. So you look at the pictures of the house and you can get a pretty good idea, like in 5 or 10 minutes of, gosh, this thing needs work. It needs paint, carpet, the blinds are dated, or wallpaper in the kitchen, right? You can get a pretty fairly good estimate of what is needed. Or, man, this is immaculate. We don't have to do really anything, just clean it.
Do they do a virtual walkthrough with you?
Sometimes, yeah, we can do that if they're on a Zoom call on their phone, but if they're just at their desktop, I don't really expect them to take their computer around, but many of them actually have photos, or they can take quick photos and just upload it to a Dropbox folder that I share. I have the business plan. So I'm like, here, you don't have to pay for Dropbox. If you have it, which a lot of people do, just upload it to this folder or in Google Drive. And so I've just really been leveraging technology to get a quick snapshot of what does a house look like? Does it need anything? Let's set expectations. If it looks like it's a little rough, you may need to put some money into it, or if you want to sell it as is, the price is going to have to be adjusted accordingly. So once I have someone go out there, put the lockbox up on the door, usually the super lockbox, or if it's like an investment property, I may do a combo lockbox because, it already needs 50 grand in work. Like, what's the worst that could happen type thing. And I know a lot of people are against those, but this also
people are going in and out a lot as well.
Yeah, there's like 50 showings sometimes. I had one house recently that had 80 offers and like 70 something showings. It was insane. That house was just getting in and out. The neighbors were like, what is going on here?
Wow.
And that was another one I did virtually completely. So that was probably kind of funny to see. But once you get the lockbox up on there, many photographers who've done this a long time, they have access to the realtor lockboxes. They can schedule the appointment through Showing Time or whatever services that you use. So really it's get someone out there who is licensed ideally and has access to the property, get pictures if the seller can't do it for me, so I know what the house looks like, put the lockbox up. From there, the photographer can schedule a time to get the photos. And other than that, it's just putting the listing on active and sticking the sign in the yard, and having a real estate agent who maybe works with you or wants to capture those leads, host open houses, show the house for you, represent a possible buyer if there are any leads coming in. So that's, listings equals leverage. We've all heard it before. I don't know how you can, leverage more than that.
Yes, exactly. So then do you do Zoom and review the list, like the request for repairs and the inspections and the offer and negotiation and meet in person that way, or it's just over the phone?
Absolutely. So I push a lot of people to do Zoom if possible, because I really love that. I can build so much rapport, face to face. You and I are talking here right now, for example. And the way I've seen it is in person, obviously, is the best. You can see them, shake hands, hug. Because of this environment and this world we've lived in, a lot of people still are like, hey, I'm more comfortable working from home. I don't have to leave the home office. I don't have to meet you at a Starbucks or anything. So Zoom has been my primary thing for especially those larger documents, listing agreement. What does this mean? Let's go through it all together. But typically I ask, what do you prefer? Let me know. Here's the listing agreement. Here's all the docs. If you want to review it and sign it, if you have any questions, let me know. If you want to schedule another call, we can do that too. And most of the time they're like, okay, it's straightforward. I just signed it. No call needed, right? But I'm always available. If you have any concerns, let's jump on a Zoom call or a phone call, and I'm happy to address them. But most times they just send me the text, just signed all the docs, everything looks good.
Wow, because you are dealing with a lot of millennials, so that makes a lot of sense.
Yep.
That most millennials are wanting to do it that way.
Do it really quickly. I don't want to talk to anyone. Don't call me,
Yeah, good. Okay, so so obviously Zoom is one of your technologies that you like, but what would you say is your best technology that you use the most in real estate?
Great question. So the personal trainer that I have a session with tomorrow, I just converted him as well. I'm sure you've heard of this, or you use a booking software. I think it was a different one than I use, but having a booking or scheduling software, if you have appointments and you're in sales, I've been using Calendly religiously for probably 2 years now. The premium plan's like $11 a month or $10.83 or something crazy low. As simple as it sounds, that has changed the game for me, because now everywhere on my websites, my social media, the bottom of my email signature, it's like, click here to schedule a call with me. So I don't even really have to answer my phone anymore, because I get 10 spam. I was just posting this on my story. I get so many spam calls. I sometimes answer thinking, oh, maybe it's a lead. No, it's spam. It's someone selling me on auto insurance, right? And so when I have people scheduled through Calendly, it pops up on my calendar and I'm like, oh, cool. Buyer presentation Wednesday, listing presentation on Thursday. And I have all the information without having to sit there for 10 minutes asking, what's the address of the house? Why do you want to sell? It's all pre-filled in, right? So Calendly has been the biggest game changer for me. And I actually scheduled my first training session tomorrow with Calendly, because the trainer was like, dude, this changed the game. I was doing this all manually before.
That's awesome. That's awesome. All right. Okay. So I noticed on your website, you have like a productivity thing that you give out. So can you talk about that for me?
Absolutely.
Do you know Mind Valley? So Mind Valley, they have like millions of followers, and they did this survey asking people what is the main thing that they wanted to, help with in their life. And productivity and accountability was they said hands down, like the most super high. Yeah. Which I know to be true for my students as well.
Absolutely. So I love productivity. I did mention kind of in passing, I studied supply chain management. And I do think, while I did not really enjoy the corporate environment and it wasn't for me, it did play a role in me just doing things more efficiently, more effectively. If there's 10 steps in the process, we would do like a spaghetti diagram on the shop floor and be like, why are we going there? And then the machinist is going over here. He's crossing over the whole place. Or even in a gym, for example, if you got stuff all over the place and you got to walk across the gym 20 times to get your workout in, you're wasting minutes here and there, right? So efficiency has always been very important to me. And it made sense in my real estate business to kind of use the same logic. Like, hey, we're going to do showings. I'm not going to show you a house on the east side of town and then switch sides of town. I want to optimize even the route that we're going on so that it is the most optimized, and I'm not wasting any more of your time or my time than I have to. But the productivity guide really just talks about a couple of things that I do just to stack tasks. For example, if you have to go somewhere, like drop off your dry cleaning, which I know a lot of people probably aren't even doing that much of anymore. If you got to do that and you got something else right next to it, try to align them with each other, right? Knock them both out instead of getting your laundry, then going right back where you were to do something else 2 hours later. You're kind of wasting time here and there. And we all do this, right? We all have little inefficiencies. We do things repetitively that really 5 minutes here, 10 minutes there, it adds up. And then you're like, oh my gosh, I have no time. I never have time to do this. I don't have time to work out. I don't have time for massages. Like, you just wasted 3 hours in your day. If you optimize that, you'd have the time to do stuff like get a 90-minute massage once a week or every other week if you want to. And for anyone who watches my stories, you're like, man, Chris, do you even work? Because I'm getting deep tissue massages and I just got back from the chiropractor. Like, I'm really trying to dial in my health and wellness. I have the meeting with the trainer tomorrow, because most of my real estate business has been automated through systems like Calendly, through real estate agents who show properties to my buyers. I'm just doing that initial call and kind of being a consultative person along the way until the property closes.
So you give the buyers 100% to the people that are showing them for you.
Exactly. And a lot of times, I know the productivity guide kind of has a couple other things as well, but the way I think now, there's a book that I can recommend, Who Not How, if you've ever read that one. Anytime something comes to me, most people kind of default to, gosh, okay, I got to do that. I'm going to add
How
that
do
to
I
my
do this?
to-do
Yeah.
list, right? How do I do this? It becomes a problem. And I just default now after that book to, wait, this is not my expertise. I should not be spending my time doing this. Who can do this? Who on my team, or do I have a virtual assistant in the Philippines who can just take this 3-hour project off my plate? The perfect example is this like shirt that says Chris Bello Real Estate. I don't know. It's kind of hard to see. And I didn't even make this shirt. I told my assistant, hey, I want a shirt that just says Chris Bello Real Estate that I can wear on calls. She designed it, ordered it, shipped it to my house, added it to the bill. It took me 2 minutes to type that out in Asana, and she did the rest, right?
Yeah.
I just approved it afterwards. So for the buyer agent thing, I did split commission on a deal or two because I'm like, okay, let's work together. You help with the inspection and go to the closing and all of that. And then I realized, like, there are showing agents who are willing to show properties for $25 a house or per hour. And instead of me doing a 60-40 split or a 50-50 on a $10,000 commission, I could just pay them $200 to show a couple houses, and then maybe pay them one more time to go out there and meet them at the inspection, right? And kind of be the liaison. And so for $100 or $200, we're under contract on a property where I don't have to split the commission at all. If that kind of makes sense. So I just realized that I can do everything remotely, including a call with the inspector and the buyers while they're there.
Nice. Oh yeah. That's people are listening to this going, oh, that's great. I can even trump you. I've sold, several hundred homes, and I've never talked to a seller or a buyer over the past 4 years.
That's even better. Yeah.
Yeah. Now my brother, he acts as me, and my video content, my attraction-based marketing just like has people calling us. And so it's awesome.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's man, it got to a point where the year I left real estate, I sold 154 homes to go into coaching. And I was like, it was so much, I was just tired, and that was not with the team. It was like me and an assistant and a transaction coordinator. So not like, so you know how crazy it can get. Absolutely. So I love this. I think I'm going to title this the virtual real estate, 100% virtual real estate agent.
Yeah, I think someone else had titled this like how to close deals without ever leaving home. I'm like, hey, I like that title because it's true. I can do it from the coffee shop. I can do it from Denver. I can do it from Indonesia. And another book that was very influential was The 4-Hour Workweek. If you've ever read that one, just the digital nomad, laptop lifestyle. I love that idea of how do I make my business in a way where I can close deals anywhere in the world and help people. That way I'm not tied to a certain market for, I've been here for 20 years. I can never leave because my whole business is here and everything would dry up, right? That's no longer the case because I kind of shifted the paradigm. So I really encourage other people out there to just change the way you're thinking. Maybe you're thinking too small. You're thinking something's not possible, which is resulting in you never even trying.
Yes. Okay. I love it. Yeah, I would have, if you would have told me that you could do even like that virtually when I first started selling real estate, I'd tell you no way.
Like, no,
but
you
it's
can't
just
do
a
it.
matter of being resourceful and thinking about things. And you're right. There are plenty of agents out there that will work for $25 an hour, and for them, that's great money, or they're trying to get extra, so. Yeah. Are they at the same company as you?
Yeah, most of them are the same company. My brokerage is based out of Houston. I kind of just hung my license with them and I've kept it there. And they got over 700 agents. And there's always, new and excited and motivated people who are trustworthy and all the things that they check all the boxes, right? I need someone who's actually trustworthy. They're going to show up on time. My client's not going to text me saying, hey, we're here. No one else is here. And my, showing agent sleeping in or something. I can't have that because that reflects poorly on me. So I have a handful of people that I know, like, and trust. And I'll text, in priority, the first person who's always there for me, I'll text her. If she's not available, I go to the second person. I really have 2 or 3 that show houses for the majority of clients. And it's a who, not how thing, right? Who can do this for me? Because obviously I no longer physically can, I'm not there.
Yeah. So what do you do with the rest of your time?
I'll try to figure that out. How do I make more purpose, right? I don't have any children or anything. I am recently engaged. We have 2 cats and a dog, but honestly, I work probably 5 or 8 hours a week. I want to work more, but the way I see it is I put my social media marketing hat on. I'm either doing podcast interviews, creating content, engaging on Facebook groups or different LinkedIn, pages or posts, because until someone DMs me saying, hey, Chris, I have a real estate question, or hey, what's my house worth? I want to sell it. What do you think? What do you recommend? Until that happens, I'm really marketing. You're in that marketing role until the attraction comes in and someone sends you that message. And that's when I put on my real estate hat. Here's the Calendly link, schedule a call. Okay, Thursday, we're going to talk about selling 1, 2, 3 street in 5 months when you're ready to make that transition. And where are you going next too, right? So that's what I've been doing with my time. I mean, I've been doing flotation tanks, sensory deprivation, working out with a trainer, playing spike ball. That's like a new little hobby. I do a lot of stuff for fun, but I want to make more impact. And that's kind of where I'm trying to figure out, like, do I do some free coaching sessions or do a group coaching or mastermind? I'm not being too strict about it, right? I kind of mentioned earlier, I'm just here to have fun, make friends, and see what happens.
Yes, you're not sure. I love that. I love that. For people to find you they can go to chrisbello.com, correct? And there's the productivity hack in there. It's CHRSBELLO.com. You can see his productivity hack and download that from him and learn more about him and his business. And you are out of Dallas, correct?
I was based out of Houston, but I actually just moved to Denver in Colorado.
Oh, Denver, sorry. So yep. Denver, Colorado, a lot of people are moving there. It's crazy how much that area has just expanded like crazy. So if you are thinking about moving to Colorado, or somebody who's selling or buying, you can refer Chris, that's for sure. Or for also sure.
Or the way I've been telling people, like my little one-liner on my bios are, I can help you buy or sell real estate anywhere.
Yeah,
I had a referral in Seattle. I've got a call with someone who wants to buy in Utah. And so a lot of people limit themselves to their little market. And then someone buys a house in like New York and they're like, oh, I could have gotten a referral for that, right? So I'm capturing those as well by just adjusting my marketing message, saying, hey, for any questions, come to me first. I will connect you to the expert in that area so I can get a little slice of that pie as well as connecting them with someone who knows what they're doing.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yes. Yep. How I used to, now I go to give the referrals to my students because I know they're the most apt to take care of it, right? They're especially with their marketing skills. But if I don't have an agent in an area that's a student, I just look on Zillow, looking for their reviews, see how many homes they've sold, see how often their reviews are, and all that to really. And then I interview multiple ones to sort of match who can be the best, will be the best person for them.
With a personality as well, because that's a big thing. If you have a driver and you have someone who doesn't really answer their phone or doesn't want to be like closed, if using that air quotes for closed, that's not going to be a great match. So you want to make sure you match their disc profile, or if this person's laid back and, hey, I'm not really in a rush, like put them with an agent who can handle that instead of like calling 3 times a day, like, hey, let's go find houses. Let's go look at houses. It's going to stress them out. So really matching that personality, like you said, I think that is the secret to referral success.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, this has been great. I love it. Okay, so I always end up every podcast with ask if you can give your best advice, whether business or personal, to our listeners. What would you give?
My best advice, and this is how I have so much time these days, to do whatever I want, whether it's volunteer or play spike ball or go on a 3-hour massage, is to draw lines and create your perfect schedule. This is an exercise that I did. I would really recommend everyone go there and write your perfect day down. Take up 1 or 2 pages. What does your perfect day look like? What time are you waking up at? If you don't want to take calls at 8 a.m., block that out on your calendar or your booking calendar. No one can book me until 1 or 2 p.m. in the afternoon, so that I have all morning to be creative and think and ride my bike and take my dog out on a 30-minute walk or 2-hour hike. I can be flexible with those things. And so if you know what your perfect day looks like, you can build that into your schedule and be very strict with that, because otherwise you're going to find, man, I wanted to go do this thing on Friday, but I got 3 calls. I can't do it. It's going to happen every week. If you don't let people book you on Friday, oh, I have no appointments on Friday, I'm going to go on a 3-hour hike, right? You can have that flexibility and you can make the time, because here's the punchline. If you never make the time, you'll never have the time, right? You'll never find it.
That's so true. If you never make the time, you'll never have the time. And because stuff always comes up, there's always stuff that comes up, right? So I always say you need to learn to say yes to what you should say yes to, and say no what you should say no to.
Exactly.
Don't let other people's crises become your own.
Right. Essentialism is a great book for that too. Learn how to say no. Have that filter. Don't just automatically say yes. A lot of us are yes people. I was as well. But now I'm like, actually, no, I'm not going to say yes or maybe, and then change my mind 2 weeks later. I'm just going to say that actually just doesn't align, right? So I'm sorry, but I can't do it right now.
I love it. Okay, Chris, thank you so much, everyone. We really appreciate you being here. I love your energy, love your attitude. The virtual agent, you never have to leave your house and you're still selling houses and working with buyers and sellers. I just love it. So everyone, remember, we've got our 2-day live event coming. Go to KristaMashore.com/2 days live. That's KristaMashore.com/2 days live for our 2-day live event. We get 15 hours of coaching from me directly on digital marketing and how to stand out as the go-to authority in your area. And remember, I really appreciate you spending your time with me. Thank you so much, for it means the world. And action is where the money is made. Listening is great, but you've got to take action. And I'll see you next time. And I hope you were just as fired up as I am. Chris, thank you so much.
Thank you, Krista. I appreciate it.
Hey there, I have a brand new podcast called Fired Up with Krista Mashore, where I bring my high energy right to your ears. This podcast is available on all your favorite podcast platforms. So do me a favor, go subscribe and leave a review. All this information is free and I cannot wait to teach you everything I know. Thanks so much for watching my video. You can learn more about how to be a successful real estate professional by watching other videos that I have. And be sure to subscribe to my channel. And as always, make it a great home selling and buying day.